I'm stuck. I'm in a rut.
Because?
Because I just finished army, just 2 years, so I just came by. I really don't know what I want to do. I think know how to find out right now.
You've got to try stuff. The biggest reason you don't know what you want to do is you haven't tasted enough things, and the biggest reason you're not tasting enough things is you're worried about finding it too fast. Start with the finish line.
All right.
Too many people are just worried about tomorrow. Go backwards from what you want to achieve financially and in your legacy, and then make all your behavior every day map to your finish line. The way that a 20-year-old can make the world better 20 or 30 years down the line is by making themselves better first. I think people don't realize that the way to be selfless is to be selfish. It's very hard to change the world if you're not good. To me, when I look around this many people being in their 20s, like everybody's judging themselves way too early. What I would do is gather as many experiences as possible, you know? You're not lost in life, you're just early in the process. Morning vlog, just jumped on Instagram for their live feature and brought people in. That was super fun. And waiting for Risa now. We have a nice solid 15, 16 hour day that concludes here back at the hotel. Feeling really good about a lot of stuff. Got a lot going on. Very VaynerMedia'd out. Just to kind of give you an update, I've been really focused on the offense. A lot of incredible things happening at VaynerMedia, a lot of new business coming in, a lot of assessing talent, a lot of bringing in new talent, a lot of assessing the offerings. But feeling incredibly confident and very excited about VaynerX as a whole. Spent a lot of time with Pure Wow. You saw Ryan Harwood in a couple episodes. It was hard to hide that beautiful face. And just incredible stuff happening at Pure Wow. And just in general, like some really hardcore momentum in the VaynerX holding company environment. Made some incredible hires, got 3 or 4 more incredible hires that are signed, sealed, and delivered and will be announced shortly. I think a lot of people in the advertising world, the ad world, are going to be taken aback. For you guys, this is hard to understand, but a lot of people in Madison Avenue, you know, that cliche 30, 40, 50-year veteran in the ad world, doesn't respect what I'm doing, hates the pressure I'm putting on the status quo. I have business meetings where people literally spend the first 20 minutes talking about Russia invading America through its Facebooks and this, and then all of a sudden we get to marketing and they tell me Facebook's not that big, they should still do television. I'm like, wait a minute, what about the first 20 minutes when you said our entire government's being overthrown by social media, but now to sell your blouses or your soda, it's not important? So I think the only thing that's changed is people's acceptance of it and its scale. The internet is the biggest thing that has happened to human beings ever, and I don't think we realize that because it's too early. My big thing is that I think we overestimate things staying the same. Like, we're basically having an IBM Microsoft conversation. The thought that Facebook and Google will in perpetuity dominate the digital landscape is laughable at best. Amazon's clearly gonna be a third player in the next 24 months. Like, what happens when it's voice or it's AR, or, I mean, what happens when it's VR? I don't, you know, and that may be 25 years away from consumer VR at scale. And blockchain and all these things that are happening. Disruption never really happens because somebody had guts and took the leap. It's that they were forced into it. And it's coming in a form that I didn't expect. It's coming in the fact that the TV networks are losing to OTT. So if there's no commercials, what do you do? And it's coming in the form of activist investors disrupting the biggest marketers in the world. You know, there's some 13-year-old girl in India right now that Elon Musk has completely inspired, and what's she up to? So I think it's interesting because I look around and some of us are younger than others. I think it's gonna be a good chunk of our lives, what we're talking about for the next 10, 15 years. But I think the biggest thing I've learned is, man, everything we think, you know, don't let Facebook own everything, don't let Amazon own everything, don't let the 2 China companies own everything. The problem is everything changes. And so, I don't think it's bad, because I don't think it's sustainable.
Why do you think it's not sustainable? Because
it's never been historically sustainable. No company has ever run a 50-year run on controlling anything. Like, retail is gonna start spending more money with you guys because they're about to go out of business. All of them. Like, you know, somebody woke up this morning and said, wow, Lord & Taylor's store shut down in Manhattan. Like, it's just real. It's when Toys R Us goes out of business, then the other retailers are like, wait a minute, This is not gonna happen because of a good thing. This is gonna happen because of a bad thing. Brands are gonna change their behavior because when they start looking around and saying, we're next, they're gonna get scared. They're gonna do it out of defense, not offense, which is very unfortunate. Like, Polo's gonna go out of business. That's it, right? Huge, gone. So, real systematic disruption happens on defense, not offense. Problem is, it doesn't matter what they like. It doesn't matter what I want to happen. The results and the execution, that's what I focus on, period. Just because I figured out how to storytell in a modern way with incredible human beings and infrastructure and team and strategies and unbelievable understanding of the modern ecosystem, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm executing 17 hours a day as a CEO of an 800-person, $150 million plus holding company. And you know what? I'm super proud of it. No question I'm more proud of me, the executive, than me, the personality. It's not even close now. The impact on the hundreds of emails that I get from you every day about the impact I've had one way or the other, motivation or execution, that's a bigger legacy than the company that I'm building. So I'm scratching both itches, and I'm not too worried about other people's opinions on it because I know what the finish line looks like. You've got to know if you're going to go after 20 to 27 and you're going to defeat all these competitors, you're going to have to start younger. Their behavior's happening at 15, 16, 17. They're selling to each other. They're buying clothes off each other and sneakers and slime on Instagram. The behavior starts earlier, and so we're going to have to think about that in some shape or form. I understand that you have different restrictions. Maybe you guys fund a startup that you have an option to buy. This needs very smart thinking, but you're not going to win if you spend $100 million on 20 to 27. So D-Rock, your favorite game?
Yeah. Oh my God.
The game, you're so good at this game, D-Rock.
Oh. What's up, bro?
Hey man, how are you?
You, mate.
Nice
really well.
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, going well. Busy at the moment.
Yes.
That's a bit of a shock to be honest. That's a bit of a shock to be honest.
I did tell him I was going to do that, but I thought it was a good little one. Anyway, but
pleasure.
You'll be speaking with him later.
Yeah, also really looking forward
I don't want to bother you, but real pleasure.
Nice
nice to meet you. Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. I think you should be thinking about audio very aggressively. Nobody in your space has won the podcast. I think it's hugely open. I can't believe that BuzzFeed and 9gag and you guys and others haven't gone into the podcast. Now it's hard.
Yeah.
You gotta do a meme radio show.
But what do you do when the podcast industry in Singapore is not picking up? I mean, it picked up in the US, but in Singapore?
The first thing I would do is look at it and see how true that is. Because don't forget, again, it's always hard when a country's small. So it might be picking up, it's just proportionate. You know, 300 million, or back to Indonesia, Malaysia 250, Indonesia 250 million. Like if it's 5 million, if 50,000 are doing it, that means a lot. So you just have to look what that means, and then the question for them becomes, I think that with the 9gag thing, you have to be smart about what's this? Is that the holding company? Yeah. But it's not consumer facing.
It's not.
So I would probably use a podcast for all of Southeast Asia and use that as the opportunity. This is where I do strategy. I would use a podcast which will leapfrog your competitors. That's where I would probably establish the brand. That's the consumer facing holding of M-Gag, S-Gag. I'd probably not use gag because you don't want to create, I was an investor, but I've seen him once on my trip to Hong Kong the other day, so I don't have any disproportionate feelings towards 9gag or not. You'd probably want to be smart about how you think about it. Yeah. That's how I would think about it. Because you have to understand why I believe, so it's like Uber, right, or Facebook. Podcasting has won here. Let me tell you why. Audio is going to win with human beings because it saves time. So some things are binary and human, not cultural. Time is human. So it will win here. Guys, just updating, just had an awesome meeting with some incredibly intriguing Singaporean entrepreneurs. And I'm ready. Just vlogging over here, no big deal, just a little vlogging. Vlog, just to catch you up, D-Rock and I have been, as we're traveling here, chatting for the last little bit. And I was about to say something. I was like, hey, pick up the camera because it's going to really help people. I think our ambition, if you listen to D-Rock and I talk for the last 15 minutes, you guys would laugh because we're basically critiquing everything we're doing content-wise. And in a good way, not like we're just critiquing. And I was about to say, well, I want to catch it on film because it's so important. Our ambition to be great is driving this whole thing way, way, way more than I think people would realize. You know, for us to be at a standard of content output and quality that we're at, and let's call it what it is, it's really hard for another human being to claim that they're at this level. We're just bringing it right now across all platforms, audio, written, video, all different networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snap, and yet we're at 3 to 5% of what we could be doing. We just have so much to do. Obviously, every time I'm in Asia, I'm like, we got to transcribe every piece of content to every language. You know, there's so much more to be done. That video that got over 1 million views on Instagram about the YouTuber kid, I feel like there's 5 of them a week, but we're not putting those out. God, there's a lot to do.
I think law of attraction works in a lot of ways.
I'm a very big believer.
Like from a year just watching you to seeing you in Hong Kong today, I think it works.
I love it.
Be humble, be hungry, be hardworking, and be selfish first before you can be selfless.
I do. I think it's very hard to help if you're not from a position of helping.
Yeah,
I see so many young people, rightfully so, and it makes me admire them, be so altruistic, yet they're so weak inside themselves. So they put up a facade because they act as though they want to help the world as a way to build confidence. You know, it's a facade, it's ego. And that's fine, and it's a lot better than other things, so I don't judge. It's just, I wasn't able to give this much back until I scratched a couple things for myself. And I think about that. It's tough to give from a place of instability. And whether it's financial or street cred or whatever one needs, I always want somebody to get theirs first so that they can give later. I genuinely think about things like that. You can't build a beautiful room and be a great interior decorator unless you're a great contractor and build a great steel foundation for that building.
Very fair, absolutely. Something that kind of weathers through the seasons.
And that then gets into my patience. In your 20s and 30s, pour concrete and build steel. Don't worry about putting curtains or what color to paint the room, right? Your biggest advantage is your youth. And too many kids don't take advantage of time. They're in such a rush to find it or be doing it that they don't take advantage of the thing they have, which is you could do nothing successful for the next 8 years. How old are you?
23.
You can literally do nothing for the next 8 years and be a child. But you don't think that. Because when you're 22, you don't think 31 is young. But it is. Patience.
Thank you so much.
Patience. You know, whether it's your parents or yourself or people, everybody's trying to prove something so early.
That's the problem. Maybe that's the problem with youth.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's always, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. What a 60-year-old has is experience, but doesn't have time. So they trade on experience. What youth has is time. You can literally do 4 different things over the next 2 years, 6 months at a time to figure out everything that you think you might like, you should try to do. But that's not what people tell you to do.
Yeah, they tell you to do your job.
100%.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're not lost in life, you're just early in the process. You know what I mean? Okay. You're lost by other people's standards, not by your actual, if you actually took it practically, you haven't even started. Right. Too many people view post-university as like, oh, this is now real and I'm lost. They don't put it in the context of being alive for 100 years and realizing they're only 20% of the way done. Got it? It's perspective. Almost everything hey everyone, it's you know, almost everything is perspective. Like I think I'm just starting, so imagine what I think for most of you. Maybe. We gotta go.
Thanks so much, Gary.
You're welcome.
See you next September.
They're grabbing me, guys. Let me just say hello real quick.
Sir.
If you guys want to take quick selfies, let's do it fast, and then I gotta go.
I still can't believe it.
Can you just give the
Hey, did I give your phone to someone? So quick one.
How do you keep the drive? How can you be so energetic like this every day?
Yeah.
Like the question you asked me, do you sleep? Are you a robot? Like, you know?
I think the thing with me that I've come to realize, look, I think I have a lot of natural DNA. There's energy that I have that I'm like, every time people first come across me, the amount of comments that say that I'm on drugs or things, and it makes me laugh, and it makes the people that know me the best laugh because I don't even smoke a cigarette, let alone, you know, I mean the amount of people that write things like cocaine, Ritalin, like they, you know, I get it. I understand why. So clearly I have natural energy and always have, but I do think that energy comes from gratitude. I'm awfully grateful. I think that people take life for granted. I think they take circumstance for granted. It is stunning to me that the majority of people that are watching this right now have first world problems. I think I got very lucky that I came from very humble beginnings, so I know what it tastes like. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. And that's it. That, you know, if you're truly, purely grateful, you'll have more energy than you'll ever need.
That's it. That's the answer. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Bye-bye.
Patience. Yeah. And just work on your thing, I guess. Just keep doing it. Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway.
I really want to flood, you know, as much content as I can, but to really bring value, and at the same time, you know, to be able to connect with my audience. So that's really what I want to do.
I learned about being self-aware and about, I think, just being yourself.
I just learned everything that I could learn from GaryVee, basically. Just about life, about marketing, and how to place myself, position myself for the future. GaryVee, man.
Learned that nothing is out of the realm of possibility. If you want to get somewhere, you want to get in a conference, even if you don't have a ticket, you can get in.
What did I learn today? I didn't learn anything new, but I got a reinforcement from Gary Vaynerchuk. Just do the work, stop making excuses, put in the effort, put in the time, don't put your energy into useless activities like you can watch Game of Thrones when you retire, you can take part in Reddit communities, discussing one episode or the other after you retire. I'm sure they'll exist in the future with AI and ML, but right now is the time to put in the work while you have the energy. So stop making excuses.
I agree. Start with the finish line.
All right.
Too many people are just worried about tomorrow. Go backwards from what you want to achieve financially and in your legacy, and then make all your behavior every day map to your finish line. I want to be a great entrepreneur that inspires others. That's why I'm still sitting here. Know what your finish line is and work backwards.